Am I the asshole for not sharing my half of my cruise credits with my girlfriend? I booked a 7-day cruise with my girlfriend, and I told her I would pay the cost of it to make up for a previous thing I wronged her on. On the cruise, there are also gratuities that are more or less mandatory, to pay to the tune of about $110. We had not talked about me paying for that. As part of a promotion with booking the cruise, I got $150 credit that could be used for any purchase on the ship. In addition, I used a credit card, Amex Platinum, which I pay $700 a year for, but which gave me an additional $200 credit, for a total of $350. I told her that I had credits and I would pay for the cost of her gratuities, and I sent her over the money. While I was at guest services, she found out that I actually had $350 and got very upset that I was hiding this from her, and she demanded that I give her half of my credits. Her reasoning was that we are a couple, and this was a cruise I was supposed to share half of everything. I argued that I pay a lot of money to get my extra $200 credit, and I was already covering every obligatory cost for the cruise, like I had agreed to. Am I the asshole for not splitting the extra money I received? My opinion was that I was entitled to the entire amount, and she shouldn't even have felt like the money for the tip was hers, as I had paid the cost of the cruise anyway. Edit. A few have commented that it depends on what I did wrong, or if it was a financial wrong. No, it was not a financial wrong. I am choosing not to describe it because it would distract from the point of the post, but I was definitely the asshole, so that's why I made up for it by taking her on the cruise. I'm going with you are the asshole. You apparently did something so egregious that you agreed to pay for a cruise to make up for it, then squabbled over like $200 of credits. What is that? A handful of drinks and a Royal Caribbean t-shirt. Just break up LOL. This relationship definitely sucks. AITA, based on the fact you felt the type of credit card was important to the story, but not how you wrong her and what you are making up for. Everyone sucks here. Your relationship is transactional, so what do you expect? You are the asshole. You said in a comment that the reason you are buying an apology cruise is because you lied to your girlfriend about inviting your ex-wife on the cruise. So as console she gets to come too. How nice she gets to spend time on the same cruise as the ex-wife you invited unbeknownst to her. Then you tell her you have credits and pay her gratuity. She must have assumed that you only had the amount to cover the gratuity because you purposefully left out the amount of credits you had. Omission is just a polite way to lie. So not only does she get an apology of spending time on a cruise with the ex-wife you lied about, but now you are continuing to keep her in the dark on information. You are the asshole for keeping your girlfriend on a purposely information diet when you are supposed to be a partnership. You are the asshole for offering to pay for the cruise, but nitpicking over some credits. Your girlfriend's reaction to learning you had the credits, on the surface, seems a bit intense, but I get the feeling it's the result of her having experienced your odd particularities in the past. AITA, for not helping my sister claim her casino winnings? My sister and brother-in-law like to go to the casino. They also like to drag anyone they can into their messes, so I don't FW them. She won a large amount of money at the slots, and for some reason that I don't want to know, she told them she was me. The casino's payout policy for the amount she won is for it to occur during business hours. She knows I won't go anywhere with her, so she couldn't lure me to the casino. She came clean and said she'd give me a few thousand for helping. She always thinks enough money will motivate anyone. I told her no and hung up the phone. I don't want to be a part of any of that. Now she's got the rest of the family up my butt because money. Both of our brothers yelled at me for not getting over myself enough to help her out this one time. I'm thinking she offered them some money too. But whatever. Her messed up name is not my problem. She's been hatching plans all her life, and I got dragged into them by default. Our father favored her because she's the baby, and made me responsible for her because that's your sister. Her trouble is your trouble. I walked away when I became an adult. Even if I did get along with her, I don't go to casinos, and the thought of shenanigans with them, no ma'am Pam. Does me being a goody two-shoes make me a AH? Update. The responses that said her giving them my name involves me in this got to me. I called the police. The detective I spoke to said no fraud has been committed yet because the money has not been claimed, and it's not a crime to give a false name to a casino. But she also said to not relax, because there's nothing stopping my sister from getting a fake ID made and claiming the money, especially since I refused to help. She also mentioned the fraudulent tax liability, in case the casino didn't spot the fake ID. She said it was better to reach out to the casino now. So I did. I explained the situation and made it clear my name was given fraudulently. Turns out she was banned from the casino over a separate incident. When she hit the jackpot, they were prepared to pay out then, once they verified her ID. She told them she didn't bring it with her and ID'd herself as me. The manager told me that case was flagged anyway. They're automatically suspicious of winners who claim they forgot their ID. I'm not sure if she's ever made a flat-out fake ID of me before. But when my probationary driver's license expired, she did use it to get into clubs while I was away at college. We looked a lot more alike back then. Just forever scheming. I'm glad I didn't chance it. Thank you to everyone who responded. She's trying to stiff you with the taxes on lottery winnings. Not the asshole. As someone who worked as a slot tech at the link for a moment, it sounds like your sister is trying to attempt tax evasion and put you on the hook for it. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'd be reporting the attempted fraud to the casino. Your name is currently on their books. Not the asshole. I'm wondering if she is trying to avoid paying taxes in her winnings and thinking to stick you with the tax bill instead. You need to call the casino and tell them someone used your name, and it wasn't you. Casinos have a ton of surveillance and should be able to pull up the person and see it wasn't you. Up to you if you want to tell them who it was, but I don't think you have a choice. But since your name is on these winnings, you are in this, like it or not. And there's no telling what sis will do next to get the money. Extricate yourself now. Not the asshole. Sounds like she is attempting to avoid paying taxes and claiming her winnings to the IRS. Would I be the asshole for inviting my niece to stay in my place so she can go to university? Throwaway account since my main is tied to my business. Context I think is relevant. My brother, 38, and I, 36, are first-generation immigrants. Our mother fled her country overnight on foot because of war. Our father died during that. She worked cleaning jobs until she eventually landed a permanent cleaning position at a university. Because her shift started /6:00, my brother and I spent a lot of time there. We'd stay with her until school started, go to school, and then often meet her back at the university after. Because of this, my brother developed a resentment towards university people. I didn't. Fast forward to today. Both of us did well, even though neither of us went to university. My brother owns a construction company. He lives outside the city, and his daughter spent a lot of time after school with our mom, who still works at the same university, but now in an administrative role in the cleaning staff. My niece is about to finish school and wants to go to university. This came as no surprise to me or my mom. At a family dinner, my brother told his daughter that he doesn't want her to go to university because it's a waste of time. Not money, uni is free here, and a machine that turns healthy, hard-working kids into pretentious, lazy, worthless people. Understandably, my niece didn't take this well. She said that university is necessary for what she wants to do with her future. My brother responded with, "I didn't go to university, and I did well, so you can too." My mom is a very quiet, stoic person. I've never seen her start conflict unless absolutely necessary. She stayed silent until there was a silence, and said, "I had to run from a country with 2 babies. I would never wish that on you, even though I did well in the end." You could literally see my brother melt after this. He immediately started, "That's not what I meant." But afterwards, he added that going to university would be impossible anyway because his daughter could never afford a dorm or an apartment in the university city. He perfectly could though, is about /euro 400 for a room, but that's not my business. This was strange to my mom and I, because my niece already stays with one of us fairly often when she has late school days or early days in the city. We've never been the type of family to interfere in each other's parenting decisions. But I have an extra room in my apartment, and I would genuinely be happy to offer it to my niece so she could study and fulfill her dream of going to uni. But I also realized that this would go against my brother's authority as a parent. So, would I be the asshole for inviting my niece to stay in my place so she can go to university? Not the asshole. Your niece will presumably be an adult by that point and can do what she wants with her life. You offering her a room is the opposite of being an asshole. If that upsets your brother, that's his problem. Not the asshole. It is a terrible parent who lets their own bias and shortcomings dictate and limit the lives of their children. Not the asshole if his daughter is old enough to go to college, his authority as her parent is over. Help her out with the room. AITA. It what country you're in, but university-age students are typically adults anyway, no? If she wants to stay with you and attend university, she can. Obviously, it sounds like her father refuses to support her financially or in any way at all, so she might have to do a lot herself. But I think allowing her to stay would be a huge help, and it sounds like that's what she really wants to do. Good luck to her. Your mom sounds like a badass, and I hope she continues to show him that he's got his head in his ass. I want her to be my mom. Mine literally said, I had it way worse. As a kid, your sister has no reason to be depressed. I love your mom. Not the asshole at all. Your niece, I assume, is over the age of 18? In that case, not only would I be offering her a place to stay, it would be my duty to remind her that OFC her father can advise her what he thinks she should do, but she can choose to ignore his advice. This is her life and her path, and if she wants to go, she shouldn't let how he feels put her off. I'd also be reminding her that even if she chose to stay with you, she is old enough to get a job alongside her education to help with expenses, if that's his concern. Am I the asshole for apparently being a shoe dictator? Hey, so I, 24F, am a pretty tidy person and care about cleanliness. I have a lot of allergies like dust, dust mites, cats, pollen, etc. You name it, I probably have it. So I have a lot of rules, for example that you have to take of your shoes when entering my flat. My roomie, 23F, is supportive, but I think that's also because she hates drama and tries to avoid it by any cost. I know that I sometimes can become pretty controlling when it's something regarding tidiness, and it's something I'm trying to work on. But this story irks me the wrong way. So like I said, I have a rule regarding shoes in my/our home. I even have a cute sign at the entrance and provide slippers, as well as a shoe rack to be as accommodating as possible. One of my friends, 23M, criticized the rule the first time he entered our flat. Something along the lines of, wow, fancy house rule now. It bothered me, but I stayed polite since he took of his shoes. But during the second gathering, my friend refused and kept his shoes on. He claimed a real host wouldn't police footwear. He then explained that it was a cultural thing. Wearing the shoes he wore that day, they were special, to be honest, were part of his cultural identity. I asked him a second time. He still refused to do it and said I shouldn't be a party pooper and just let it be. He then entered my roomie's room and said I couldn't say anything because this wasn't my room and closed her door. I just cleaned up the floor to be safe and returned to my home to keep preparing the shindig for later that day. When the party started, he entered my room still with his shoes on, even going as far as putting them on my couch when sitting down, which in my eyes was toddler behavior. So I just imploded. I yelled at him and told him to leave my room and the party immediately. A lot of my friends told me that what I did was discriminatory. That made me feel really bad. I contacted him again, but he still hasn't answered, saying he needed time. I feel like an OCD asshole, to be honest. Not the asshole, your house, your rules. In some parts of the world, it's perfectly common to take off your shoes, or at least ask, hey, should I take them off? Edit. I didn't even see that he put his shoes on the furniture. That is such an asshole move. He's like a petulant child. It is indeed a cultural thing. Plenty of cultures have a shoes off rule, not just people who have bad allergies. Some have a feet are obscene rule, or at least a less prudish sense that taking your shoes off at someone else's house is weird and uncomfortable. But almost everybody has, or should have, a respect your host rule, which means you are not the asshole in this scenario, quite apart from the legitimate health reasons you have such a rule in place. Absolutely not the asshole. Fuck that friend. It was an asshole move of his to walk into your room and put his feet up on your couch. WTF? That boy went out of his way to disrespect you in your own home, yet you're the problem? Absolutely not the asshole. He's not your friend. Stop trying to reach out to him. And don't invite him back to your home. No, he's the asshole here. We have a shoe-free house as well. I did make an exception for our close friend's elderly mother, who can barely walk, let alone bend over to take off her shoes. It's more or less customary here, Quebec, to remove your shoes in someone else's house. He's not someone I would ever have in my home again. Bye, bro. Oh, please. He did this on purpose. There are no cultures which require you to put your shoes on someone's couch. In fact, most cultures would consider that rude, disgusting, and even blasphemous. He would not have been allowed in my house with shoes on. I don't care who you are. Even tradespeople wear those shoe cover thingies, and they are actually working. F this guy. And for those who claim cultural insensitivity, they can F off too. I go to a Japanese temple, I take off my shoes. I go to my Muslim friend's house, I cover my hair. Basic respect. His culture is apparently being an overbearing ass. You don't need that.